Hi and welcome to my Quaint Cottage. I just got my curriculum order in and I'd love to share with you what we're doing for 4th grade. I'm going to try to quickly go through this because I have a lot of material to cover here. We are going to go through this kind of in the order in which we do it throughout our day. And to start off our day, I like to start off with our Bible study. And what we use is this very nice curriculum called Christian Character. There are 4 books in this curriculum and they are supposed to be consumables. We don't use them that way. My children keep flashcards of the verses that we're going over. Sometimes we put them into little binders and sometimes we put them on posters to help to remind us what our Christian character should be. That usually only takes a couple minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and we move on to penmanship. Now for penmanship, I have been using the Pentime books, penmanship books, and I really like them. My 3rd grader going into 4th grade is learning cursive. He loves it. It's really easy. The way these practice pages are, it really does help them to achieve a very nice cursive handwriting. And that only takes about 5 minutes. One of the fun coincidences of this particular Pentime cursive is that this year's theme is the states, and that goes wonderfully with one of the other curriculum choices that I picked out this year. So this not only is a good penmanship, it also is going to act as a supplemental to his geography class. I really like to tackle the most brain-intensive classes right first thing in the morning when everybody is fresh, ready to go. And so we start off with Latin. And this year we're doing Latina Christiana. We've already done the Prima Latina, and one good thing about this Latin curriculum is that as the teacher, as the homeschool mom or dad, you don't actually have to know Latin yourself. There is a video series that goes along with this. There is an audio practice CD that goes along with this. I think this student workbook is about $15. If I have 3 or 4 students using this same book, I don't want to have to pay that much per student. So we don't use this as a consumable. We use it as a workbook that the children just copy on plain paper, and so the workbook stays nice and usable for the next child coming up and is not actually consumed. It does have a really nice teacher's manual, and I'm going to do another video of how we actually use this because I use this as a supplemental to our regular grammar, which doesn't need any supplementals. Now we're going to move on to one of my all-time favorite subjects, and that's science. I am science and math all the way. So this year we are doing Christian Kids Explore Earth and Space. And he's actually really interested in this sort of thing, so this is going to be right up his alley. I have not opened this, but I can tell you from experience that there's going to be labs in here, there's going to be experiments in here. It comes with a CD with printables of coloring sheets and question pages, and yeah, I really like this line of curriculum, and so I'm sure that I'm not going to be disappointed by this particular subject matter. Moving right along to history, another heavy curriculum that we really enjoy. This is Volume 4 of the Mystery of History. It's War of Independence to Modern Times. Volume 1 starts with creation and moves forward to the death of Christ. We have worked through, this is our 4th one, and after we are finished with this particular one, the curriculum is created so that we will start over again with Volume 1. So you just buy 4 curriculum books, you can use them with all of your students at the same time, and you just keep repeating the full series over again. And the work that is required to go along with the reading material is age appropriate. So say you're doing Egypt and the younger children will build something like a pyramid, and then the middle children will do vocabulary words, and the older children will actually do a research paper. That's just an example of the sorts of things that we've done in the past. And don't quote me if that was all on the Egypt section. but that's just the sort of thing that you do with this curriculum. That history curriculum is for history, social studies, and geography, and is complete, and you don't need to have any supplementals. But I was watching another YouTube homeschool mom, and she was showing the states and capitals by Memoria Press, and I already know I like Memoria Press. I will leave that video below that she was doing a flip through, and her video is what made me buy this as a supplemental to our regular history. And because it's War of Independence to modern times, it will go along just fine with states and capitals. So you have a teacher's guide and a student guide, and then it also comes with flashcards. And don't know much about the 50 States book. So this is kind of the text, and then the student study guide are the questions that they've put together to go with this. Now we are moving on to grammar. I did a video about this particular curriculum a couple years ago. I will link that below. This is my all-time favorite grammar curriculum. I have been homeschooling for 15 years now, and I've tried so many things. I am math science. I am not good at grammar myself, and this particular grammar made me not hate teaching grammar anymore because I loathed it. It was the low part of my day, but now I love it. This grammar is so wonderful. It is called Climbing to Good English, and my children have been using this ever since I found it. I have no interest in trying any other grammars. We are there. We have found what works for everybody at my table. So in this grammar, you get a teacher's manual and then a student manual, and they are identical with the exception that the teacher's manual has the answers in red. It also has some teacher suggestions. For example, this particular one says practice a few sentences at the board, including at least one question. It tells you how to score, if they've missed things, that sort of thing. This is a continuation of what he was doing last year with the Climbing to Good English 3. Now this is a consumable that I actually use as a consumable. It has 170 pages. It was about $5, I think. And it's definitely worth letting the child write in it and then just buying another one for the next one coming up. This 4th grade version just builds upon what was taught in previous years. But the good thing about this particular curriculum that I have found out, like I said, several years ago when we first found it, it does not matter at what grade your child starts, it will re-explain everything. It will tell you as though you have never heard of this concept before, and then it builds on itself in each volume. So if you've never used this curriculum before, you will be fine. Your child should do well with this. If you've used the ones previous, then it's just a continuation. It's a reminder. It builds on itself. It reinforces the information that they've already learned, and it makes everything so easy. It does not have any fluff to it. It is straightforward, to the point. They repeat it enough to remember it without a lot of busy work. Okay, so up next, we have a supplemental to grammar. I am not pressed to get through this material. We take it slow, we take it easy. This is Introduction to Composition. This is another Memoria Press. I love some of their stuff. Other stuff is a pass, but my older children are doing the composition, the fables, the narrative stage, and on up, and my younger son kind of felt left out. So I went ahead and got him these Introduction to Composition. Now for these, you do need some other books. Just having these two, teacher's manual and student manual, is not enough. You also have to have a couple other books. And the books that you need in order to actually do the questions for this curriculum is Farmer Boy, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, Charlotte's Web, A Bear Called Paddington, and Mr. Popper's Penguins. I believe if you're using the Memoria Press reading series, then those books are included. But in my state, we are expected to have health class, and that is fine with me because I have really nice health curriculum. And the health curriculum that we are using this year is Myself and Others. This again is from Memoria Press, and again, the only reason I bought this is because I saw another YouTube homeschool mom do a flip through of this, and I thought, oh, that would be so nice. I love the concept of it. So I will link yet again that other YouTube video down below. It is a package, so you get the Myself and Others workbook, and then Healthy Happy Habits, which I already had because this is the workbook that my son did for 3rd grade. So we are using it as part of the 4th grade, and it also comes with The Guide to Good Manners for Kids by Emily Post, along with 2 storybooks, and I have no idea how these storybooks play into the curriculum. Perhaps I can't even guess. I have no idea, but this is part of it. And so we have The Cabin Faced West and The Sign of the Beaver. So we shall see how this goes. Again, I will do a review of this because this is curriculum that I've never used before, and I will share and say if I think that it was worth it. More mowing! It's a nice day. Everybody decides to mow today. Up next is my second favorite subject ever, and that is math. And here is my 4th grade math curriculum. This is switched on Schoolhouse. It is a thumb drive in here, and this is what we're doing for 4th grade. Now, I love teaching math. I love helping my kids with their math work. The thing that I really struggle with is finding the time to correct all of the math work that multiple children do. With everything else we've got going on, sports and going places, I don't have after school time to sit and grade papers. So I am absolutely using this as a cheat. I will be able to sit beside my son and teach him the math concepts as we go, and the program will correct the work as he does it. And that is really what I'm using this for. Again, I will do a end of year review of this. I've never used this before. I haven't actually seen a lot of reviews on this personally. If you know of any reviews, share those with me in the comments. I think this is going to work really well for us for what I need it for. So everything that I've gone through so far seems like it's a lot of work, doesn't it? But for us, this is just our morning schedule. That's what we do in the morning. And so as we work through, it's not cumbersome, it's not overburdening. A lot of these are the curriculums that we've used in years past. We're just carrying them forward. And now I'm going to start with our after lunch curriculum. So we do take a full hour for lunch. The children have plenty of time to eat. They can go outside and play. They can do personal activities that they like to do. And then when we come back, we start off with a lot of independent work classes. And the first one is vocabulary, and we do working with words. So this child is doing the 4th grade version of working with words. And it comes with a little teacher's manual and a student workbook. This is another workbook that I absolutely use as a consumable. It's like $2.50, maybe $3. So absolutely no problem using this as a consumable. There's 96 pages in here, and it is by Pathway Publishers. It goes along with the reading curriculum that we do, and it usually matches up. Unfortunately, this year it's not going to match up because he is doing 4th grade vocabulary, but only 3rd grade reading. And let me introduce you to the reading curriculum. So this year we are doing the 3rd grade readers, which is New Friends and More New Friends, and they both come with teacher's manuals and student workbooks. And again, these workbooks I do use as consumables because again, they're like $3. It's not a big deal. It's not like $15, $20, $25, $30 per child per workbook. So I'm absolutely fine with paying that extra price so they don't have to use lined paper. They can just use their consumable workbooks. And the reason that he's doing the 3rd grade reading comprehension instead of the 4th grade reading comprehension has nothing to do with him. It is completely my fault. So when I found this curriculum a couple years ago, I put him where I guessed he would be, not understanding how advanced this curriculum was at the kindergarten 1st grade level. So I went ahead and put him at 1st grade, and in other curriculums, he would have been 1st grade. But in this curriculum, he was kindergarten. So halfway through the year, I switched. We went back to kindergarten. We took our time and went through it. So he is kind of a year behind in reading, but not really. We could have pushed him through those other curriculums and had him up to grade level. But really, this curriculum is, I don't want to say advanced reading curriculum, but it is more challenging than some other reading curriculums that we've used in the past, and definitely more challenging than the curriculum that he started with before he was using this. And the last subject for today that we're going to talk about is called Complete a Sketch. This is the art curriculum that he's going to use. My older son used this last year. He loved it. Both of my boys absolutely hate art. Anything that has to do with crayons, coloring, colored pencils, markers, scissors, glue, they hate it. They don't like making collages. They don't like coloring pictures, nothing. My older son loved this curriculum. Basically, you just print out the sheet. It has in the corners, it will have the starting of the design, and you just have to basically connect the dots. It has the full picture in the front, in the one corner. You connect the dots, and you will, or the child will, actually draw those sketches that are there on the front. He loved it. He got through the entire curriculum way before he was supposed to. I was going to use this as a multi-year curriculum, having him just complete one sketch a week. He did one sketch a day because he loved it so much. I didn't have to remind him. I didn't have to tell him to do it. He simply took the initiative and did it himself. So for my older son, I had to buy the next one up. But for my 4th grader, he's going to do this, and I'm hoping that he loves it just as much. That is all I have for you. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I hope that I was helpful in some way and inspired you to look at some of these curriculums. Have you used any of them? I would love to hear about it. And as always, have a blessed homeschool day. Bye-bye.